My name is Xio Alvarez. I'm a third year here at Berkeley. I'm studying urban studies, which is in the College of Environmental Design. Looking to minor in architectural history, geographic information systems. I'm really interested in the way that cities and buildings recover from natural disasters, which is why I'm leading a crisis group today this weekend, on natural disasters and development. Alright, sure. So environmental disasters is going to be run as a crisis committee, which means it's a little bit more informal. It's also a bit more fast-paced. We're going to be working with an accelerated timeline, so months and years will be passing over the course of our committee session. We're also going to be dealing with live news updates, so you'll be dealing with things in something similar to real time. You'll be given challenges over the course of the weekend that you're expected to sort of turn over the course of a committee session. It's a little bit different from UNEO in that you're not necessarily dealing with environmental policy as much as you're dealing with environmental disasters that are happening and affecting your country. What I'm looking for delegates to do is not necessarily to approach the science or the environmental policy of what's going on, but to really think about how these large storms and hurricanes, earthquakes, mudslides, natural disasters are affecting the people of the country and also the country's economy. So working with India specifically, India is a brick. It's one of the growing economies of the world. It's at the forefront of sort of this new globalized economy, and it's a place that everyone's really watching, and sort of to see how India can remain competitive, remain a strong force in the world economy, but also sort of maintain its cultural integrity in the face of things that are really challenging to its people and to its government. Okay, so it's a crisis committee, which means that it's a bit more informal. There's some nuances in the way the committee procedures are run. Generally, it's going to be a moderated caucus. You won't be writing a resolution per se necessarily, although I do want delegates, the end goal is for them to draft national policy. So that we'll be using the rhetoric of a resolution, but won't necessarily look the same. I'll explain a bit more in my topic synopsis, and you'll see a bit more on the blogs. But beyond that, I'm really expecting you to work together and to have conversations with each other to determine what compromises you need to make and what sort of your end goals are as a committee. All I want to see at the end is some sort of policy formulated, but how you guys kind of get there is up to you, which is really exciting. I'm looking forward to how you deal with crises. We've been starting to develop them, but crisis, one of the things that I really love about it is that where I think we're going at the beginning of the weekend might be completely different from where we really end up. So I think that that's one of the greatest things about this committee is that what you guys do with what we give you is really going to shape how the committee runs. We're giving you the basic infrastructure, like basic underlying information, and what you guys show up with on Conference Friday and what you deliver over the course of the weekend is really going to affect what comes out. I'm really interested in the ways that developing countries recover from natural disasters. I think I'm an urban studies major, specifically cities are really intriguing to me, but working at an international level, I think that the way that people recover and the choices that are made over the course of recovery are really interesting. Whether that's the split-second decisions that are made at the beginning or the long-term policy decisions that come out of something really disastrous. I think it's really intriguing to see how things that governments can't control affect the way that governments work. And specifically working with India because I think that India is in a really interesting place right now. It's growing as an economy, it's growing in stature, it's a very important place in the new globalized world, it's a very localized area of development, it's a very localized area of growth specifically, especially in Southeast Asia, and I think that the very complex relationships that are going on between the culture, between the world as a whole, and between its economy are extremely, extremely interesting. I hope you guys do too. If you've been in a crisis before, you know that one of the greatest assets you can have is to be flexible. So what you want to do when you're researching is look up things that are kind of more general, look up precedents. You don't want to come in being like, I'm definitely going to do this over the course of the weekend, because I think you'll have a really bad time if you do that. Come in and be like, okay, my chair is looking for policy. What do I need to do given what's on the table right now, given what my other delegates are giving me? What do I need to do to get there? Be prepared to make decisions. Stay on policy, obviously, but be creative in what you're doing. You have a lot of leeway in crisis, especially because you're getting things that are real time and the situation is not constantly changing, but pretty rapidly changing. So I think as long as you're flexible and you come really well prepared, you'll have a great weekend. I know I'm really stoked for it. I'm so excited.